What's happening, family? Welcome to the podcast In the Black of My Mind. I'm your host, Al Thomas, and today we're bringing you part two of the Arti Dixson talk. If you missed part one, please go check it. Arti is such a good brother and has really good, really interesting things to say. Now, I appreciate all of you who've subscribed to the podcast, and my only ask is that you share it with others and help us to get folks to subscribe so we can continue to bring quality programs. Arti Dixson has an album, and this is his album. And we'll at the end we'll share with you how you can go about purchasing this album. So, having said that, let's check out part two. Where's my theme music? Now, you kind of touched on a little bit of the philanthropy. You've been doing the musical program during the holidays for like ever and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned that I grew up in poverty, and the remembrance of the family bringing their twin boys, my brother and I, their clothes, resonated with me. But I was talking to a minister outside of my condo one day during November, and his name was Sam Sly. He was a minister, and he had been involved with the Downtown Cooperative Ministry in New Haven. And we were just chatting, and he said to me, the Emmanuel Baptist Church doesn't have any toys for the kids. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking maybe I could do something about that. So the next morning I called Marion Meadows, Jay Rowe, Danny Cipriano, Paul Mills, another great drummer.
Oh, yeah. Tony
Aardo, a bunch of my friends. And I said, I'd like to have a party to collect toys for some kids for this Emmanuel Baptist Church. I'll pay you guys, and we'll just collect some toys. And everybody agreed. They got excited about it. So now I needed a place. So there was a guy named John DeMonico who owned a couple of restaurants. And he used to come to see Mary and I and Joey and Paul Spinner and perform. And so I saw John on one of our performances, and I said, John, I need your place. He said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to collect toys for these kids. He said, okay, well, we'll do it on a Sunday night at the Palms restaurant, which was right next to the Schubert Theater. He said, I don't open on Sunday, but I'll open for the party. I said, that'd be great. So we did it. We had the party. We collected a bunch of toys. I took these toys to the church the next day. I walked in, and there was a woman in her office on the phone. Her name was Joyce. I remember this like it was yesterday. She got off the phone, and I walked in, and I said, hi, my name's Arti. I have some toys for you. She filled up with tears. She said, I just got off the phone from telling the family we didn't have any toys for them.
Wow.
So, and some people came up from downstairs in the church. We were all in tears, right? So I went home and I told my wife, I have to try to do this every year if I can. So through the grace of God, I've been able to do it every year. And now we're going into our 36th year this year in December.
Wow.
Will be our 36th annual holiday party. We now take toys not to just one church, but to 14 locations in 12 towns.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have over 500 people sometimes that come to the church every year. I mean, we have over 500 people who come to the party now every year. It sells out almost every year. Wow. And I'm fortunate. I still have the guys come and play. I pay everybody that come and play. Maybe we have you come and play this year.
I'm there.
Okay. Well, you're on the gig. I just put you on the gig.
Good. Thank you. Nice.
So every year we've had this party. During the pandemic, we had it outside. Al, I went to my priest. I go to Holy Infant Church, and I asked him if we could have this event to collect toys in his parking lot, in the parking lot of the church. He said, yeah, go ahead, do whatever you need to do. So I put a tent over the stage. Now, this is in December.
Right.
It's cold.
Yeah.
right? I put a tent over the stage. I rented a transmitter to transmit the sound from the stage to a radio station so people could listen to it in the car.
Oh, wow.
People came. My daughters had their car. We put toys in their car. We had a van. We put toys in the van. People came. They parked in the parking lot, listened to the music. It snowed.
Oh, wow.
It snowed. And I'll tell you, we had very little heat, if any. We tried to have some heat in the tent, but I don't think it worked. But none of the musicians complained. And we got this done and we collected these toys.
Nice.
It was amazing.
Nice.
So through the grace of God, I've been able to do this every year. And so people would say to me, you know, Artie, we love coming to your party, but can't you do something in warm weather? My wife saw an ad in the Orange Bulletin from the Woodbridge Human Services talking about how they had been completely depleted of all their non-perishable food because of such high demand during the holiday season. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking maybe I could do something about this. So the next day, I called my friends. I set up a party in the spring, and instead of collecting toys, we collected food.
Nice.
And this will be our 16th year now, collecting food on July 13th.
July 13th.
At Holy Infant Church. I'm going to have the Tommy and Michael Davino R&B band. They'll be playing with Linda Ransom singing and Butch Taylor singing. And we always have a great time. We have some vintage cars now that come and just park. We have Michelina's pizza truck that shows up. And it's a blast, man. People just come in the parking lot, get out the car, set up a chair, and listen to the music.
Nice.
You don't have to drag a blanket over through some trees and, you know, sit on the lawn and fight the ants. Right? And yeah, so it's a good time. But so I called that Help Our People. And so when I was talking to my accountant one day, I told him I wanted to do more. Because people would say to me, you know, why do you collect toys and why are you collecting food? And my response would always be, I'm not doing enough. So my accountant said, you know, why don't you start a foundation? So we started the foundation in 2022, and we called it Help Our People. So my accountant was going to be the treasurer. So I happened to be talking about this with a few people. And one of the persons was the president of Mosaic Printers, who was printing my tickets for these events.
Okay.
So I said, his name is Al Canosa. So I said, Al, you know, I want to start this foundation, and I want to support individuals who are struggling with homelessness and individuals who have a different ability. I want to support individuals who have a different ability or who are disadvantaged, but who want to have a music career. Those are the two populations. So Al said to me, well, you need to be the chairman and I'll be your president. I said, okay.
Wow. Okay.
So I was talking to one of my students' dad, who has the same birthday as me. His name is Mark Sabosley. And I was telling him that I'm trying to set up this foundation. And I was telling him about what I was going to do, the populations that we were going to serve. And he said, do you have a president? I said, yes. He said, I'll be your vice president. I said, okay.
Okay.
So Michael Bolton would always support the holiday party. They would always buy 40 tickets and come to the party. Michael wasn't able to come because he would always be in Florida. But Jackie Smaga was their development director. So she would always write the check and she would come to the holiday party. So I met her and had a relationship with her. And I knew that she was working with Michael's unbelievable foundation for battered children and battered women. Michael's been doing a tremendous job in helping people in that population. But so I said to Jackie, would you like to have lunch with me someday? I'd like to learn more about this nonprofit world. She said, sure. So while I was having lunch with her, I was telling her about it. I said I had a vice president, I had a president, and Sean McNamee was our accountant. And she knew Sean. And she said, do you have a secretary yet? And I said, no. And she said, well, you do now.
Wow. So you got all your officers all lined up.
That's how the board was formed. The original board was
Wow.
formed. I
Wow.
didn't solicit anyone.
Mm.
And these are unbelievably civic-minded people. Now, this is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so
Nice.
no one on the board gets paid to do this.
Mm.
So
Nice. Yeah.
the impetus for this foundation was there was an elderly woman named Vanessa Lloyd who was bringing 3 children to the holiday party.
Mm.
I thought they were her grandchildren, but they were her children that she was picking up from a shelter, and she was bringing
Oh,
them to the
wow.
holiday party to have a nice meal and to
Mm.
see how this, to have a nice party, be at a party. And these children would actually come up on the stage and sing, because typically at the beginning of the party, I would have all the children in the audience come up and sing Jingle Bells.
Okay.
They would be the lead singer. Everybody would sing it, but I would have these children come up and sing it, and they would come up and sing.
Mm.
So I later learned that they were from the shelter. And as the boys got older, I got more involved with them. I would give them my clothes, and I had my daughters give their sister their clothes. It was 2 boys and a girl.
Mm.
Well, the older boy got accepted at Pace University, but he didn't go. And when I discovered why he didn't go, which was he didn't have anyone looking out for him. He had parents. He didn't have parents to upload information to the website that he needed, get the medical documents that he needed for the school,
Mm.
and of course, buy him all the things that he needed to go to university with. So that was one impetus. And the other was a blind student called me, wanted to have lessons, and we tried to get the state to get involved to help him with his lessons, but they didn't get that. He wanted to have lessons so that he could perform and be able to teach, so he could generate income for himself.
Right.
So those were the 2 populations, and that was the impetus for me starting this foundation. Since we've had this in place for 2 years now, think about this. The young man that went to Pace University, it was the first time in his life that he was sleeping in the same bed. It was the first time in his life that he was waking up to breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Mm.
Our blind student now has a student of his own.
Oh, wow.
And from what I understand, his student can't wait to have a lesson with him.
Right, right.
He's just
Wow.
so happy to go to have a lesson with Jason, this student. And Jason is thrilled to be able to share the information that he's been able to get with his student. I mean, he's
Right,
just so
right.
happy to be. It's you can give someone money when they have a disability, but to give someone a skill,
Right.
it empowers them.
Teach a man to fish.
You understand what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
empowered.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't tell you how great he feels about himself. And then the other student who was in our program, who was 22 years old, who is a stroke survivor, is now going to Gateway Community College.
Oh, okay.
So we have 2
How
more.
old was he? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
You said how old was the student?
The other student is 22 years old. He's
They
a
had a
stroke survivor.
stroke? Oh,
A stroke
man,
survivor at
that's
a young
tough.
age.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's now going to Gateway Community College. We have our goal. Our goal this year was to bring in 2 more students in the music education program, and to provide assistance for a student who was confronted with homelessness. We're bringing in Marquise McCullough's brother, Jeremiah. That's the other brother from those 3 children.
Okay.
And we have a guitar student who's on the spectrum of autism. And we have a singer who is a tremendous vocalist, who has perfect pitch.
Oh, wow.
She has already been on America's Got Talent.
Oh, no kidding.
Her name is Lavender, and I've already met with them. She wanted to come into the program because she wants to be a part of it. She also wants to continue studying voice, and she wants to become a spokesperson for us.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That is just such a blessing for both of us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I met with her and her dad a few weeks ago, traveling in a monsoon like we had this morning to Springfield, Massachusetts, to have lunch with them. And I can't tell you how excited she is to be involved with Help Our People.
Oh, nice.
It's just a tremendous
that's awesome.
blessing for both of us.
Yeah, yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, man, you're gonna be blessed as a result of blessing all these people, man.
I already am. I already am, Al. You know,
I
I
hear
have
you.
you in my life. I
Oh
have people
man,
like you in my life.
man, please.
You know,
I
and I
appreciate you,
have
man.
other people in my life that I'm blessed. I'm blessed with.
Mm,
But you know, one of the things that I talked about earlier is that I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy teaching as much as I enjoy playing, and I think
mm-hmm,
I touched on this a little bit.
mm-hmm,
But while doing a record for Rex Cadwallader, he asked me if I would be interested in teaching at Greens Farms Academy,
mm,
and I said I would love to be able to teach at Greens Farms Academy. But that experience for 17 years teaching at Greens Farms Academy prompted someone to reach out to me from Gateway Community College
mm,
and asked me if I would be interested in teaching at the college. And I said, of course I would. So when I
mm,
met with the director of the music department at Gateway Community College, he looked at my resume and he said, well, we'd like to have you if you'd like to be here. and I said, I'd love to
nice.
be here.
Mm,
And, you know, I didn't even talk about how, you know, any kind of compensation, just like with Gateway, with Greens Farms Academy, money never played a role
mm,
in something that I decided I wanted to do,
right,
that I
right,
really wanted to do.
right,
And I remember my principal, the principal in my high school, one thing he said to me, he said, whatever you do in life, make sure that it's something you want to do and not something
right.
somebody else wants you to do. And so everything that I've been able to accomplish and do in my life, I've been able to do because it's something that I really wanted to do.
Mm,
And so consequently, one of the things that I tell all my students, whatever you decide to do, be good at it.
right,
Don't worry about the money.
right. Yeah,
Study, gain all the knowledge you can, practice, become the best that you can become at something. The money will follow.
right, right,
Because think about this. We have all gotten paid for our knowledge.
right.
Even when I worked on the railroad, I became good at the railroad, doing what I was doing on the railroad, you
Right, right,
know,
right, right,
and I
right.
enjoyed it for the time. But I play, people pay me to perform, people pay me to teach. Once somebody paid me to play drums, that was it. I wasn't going to
Yeah,
work. I was never going to work again in my life.
right. Well, you know, it's
So
funny. I used to tell my students all the time. I said, if you enjoy doing something, figure out a way to get paid for doing it, and you'll never work a day in your life.
that's it. If you enjoy something, I haven't worked since I worked on the railroad.
Mm, mm,
You know, we have to set up equipment and tear down equipment, but you know, that's probably the extent of the workload
mm,
that we
mm,
as
mm.
musicians do, you know.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, so like I say, man, I've been blessed, and I'm
Mm,
blessed to have a beautiful wife that I have that's been so supportive
mm,
for me. I have two beautiful children. They're not children anymore. Two beautiful women
mm.
who have carved out lives for themselves, and I surround myself with good people like you.
Oh man, please.
And no, I really appreciate it. And I'm grateful, like I say, for you allowing me to share some of my experience with you and your audience,
Man,
man. I'm really grateful for
I'm
this.
grateful that you agreed to come on, man. Please, you know, for years I always just watched and admired and stuff, man. And you know, you share little things with me, but you know, just to be able to do it now on a grander scale and learn more about you and stuff is, man, I'm
Hey, this
full,
is
man.
Marion Meadows, and you're listening to and watching in the Black of My Mind podcast.
Trust. I
So when we
appreciate
had
you, man.
so when we had the pandemic, you know, we weren't playing a lot, so I ended up writing a book.
Oh, you
Um,
did?
I wrote a book. I called it Rhythmosphere. Since we had vaccines, and one of the vaccines was called Remdesivir, I
Mm.
decided to entitle my book Rhythmosphere. And I teach people how to say it in the book. You actually accent the second syllable, rhythm,
Mm.
not instead of rhythm.
Uh-huh.
It's Rhythmosphere.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Is that what was it? That was the name of the stuff that they were using,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
that?
yeah. The shot
Okay,
that you
okay,
got, you
okay.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
so I was able to complete that. And I was, again, blessed to have Hudson Music distribute it for me. We split the publishing, so I started my own publishing company for that book.
Okay.
But then, because my girls are out and my wife is, she's been busy doing being a teacher, I decided that it was time for me to do some of my own music, some music that I wanted to do. And so when I decided to record, the first thing I thought about were the people that I wanted to be involved in the music. And so I wrote 7 of the compositions, and I did a remake of Alfie by Burt Bacharach and Hal David. So when I thought about the people that I'd like to record with, I thought of Christian Sands, a prodigious pianist, and Brian Torff, a prodigious bass player. And I had to think of people that I could trust with my compositions. So those were the 2 people first. So we did a recording of one of my original pieces called Merrily We Go Along, and the remake of Alfie. And so we did those 2 songs, and the only person I could think of that I would want to produce my record was Jack DeJohnette. So after recording those 2 songs, I called Jack and I said, I'd like to come and visit with you, and I'd like you to hear something that I've done. So I drove to Jack's house about 3 hours away up in Willow, New York. We visited, and I played the 2 songs for him. And he said, "Wow, man, these sound great." He said, "You sound like me. You should be playing drums on this. What do you want me to do?" And I said, "I'd like you to produce my project." And he said, "I would love to produce your project." And so that became another blessing for me. So the way it worked was I came back, and now I had the players and I had a producer. So I somehow got into this creative spurt where I was just writing music, coming up with melodies. So I wrote everything on a computer, and I would send the computerized versions to Jack. And Jack had, Jack understood it. He understood how this could be performed live. And he would make recommendations on the melodies and the rhythmic components of the melody. And then that's basically, how he would spend most of his time producing the record.
Right.
And so as I got a few songs, after I completed a few songs, I would present them to Christian and Brian, and then they would sit with the songs for a while, and then we would record those 2 or 3 songs. So I did this over a period of 3 years, so that Brian and Christian could actually sit with the music and really be able to channel the music as opposed to just play it.
Gotcha.
So when you hear the record, the recordings, you're going to hear how all of us are channeling these compositions, because there are things that we play together that aren't written. They just happen. And it was such a joy for me to be able to record with these guys, with Brian and Christian. And then I heard on one of my songs, Trinitas, which is Latin for Trinity, I heard Ron Carter's bass sound on this. So I was able to get in touch with Ron, and he agreed to play on this composition. Wow. So I went to New York, and we used bass studios. I think it was bass sound studios. A guy named Dave Darlington owns the studio, and it's a studio that Ron would record in frequently. Okay. So we did Ron's overdub on Trinitas for that particular composition, and it sounds great. Wow. And another blessing to have Ron on it. And I also, this is a piece that also fuses American classical music with European classical music. So during the bridge, I added a cello. So I was able to get in contact with a cellist named Yehuda Hanani, who was a world-class cellist, probably playing in the shadow of Yo-Yo Ma, like most cellists are. But so So Yehuda plays on this bridge of this piece, and hearing Ron and the uh, the intonation that Yehuda has from his cello is just magical.
Mm, mm.
So I'm more than pleased with that recording, and so now it's going to drop June 28th.
June 28th.
I decided to set up my own record company.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Herax Music Group.
Okay.
Herax is Greek for hawk. My grandmother's Mohawk Native American, so I'm tying all this together,
Right.
and with my publishing company, and so I hired a marketing firm, Mosaic marketing firm in Brantford to do the website and all the social media, and I couldn't be more pleased with how they're creating everything for me, and I'm just I'm so blessed with people around me who have helped me create this work of art. The artist, the French artist named Andre Genet, who did the front cover,
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Bagley, who did the digital design for the back cover, and I'm just so pleased with the end result.
Nice.
And I
What is
hope
the
that
name? I'm sorry. What
the
is the
name of
name
the album, the name of
Yeah.
the album, the name of the album is No Boundaries.
No
And I only did
Boundaries.
it in vinyl because vinyl captures nuances from live instrumentation that CDs and streamings compress.
Mm,
So
mm.
when someone buys the album, they will also get a download, a high resolution download. So
Okay.
if they don't have a turntable, they'll still be able to listen to the music.
Okay. All
But it
right.
might entice them to get a turntable because vinyl's back. Vinyl's selling more than CDs now.
Is it really?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
I have a friend of mine. As a matter of fact, one of the committee members for the golf tournament, he has a friend whose son just opened a store just selling turntables. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
how. That's how.
Back in a big way.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Now I have a turntable, so now I got to support you and purchase one of these. Definitely.
Well, I'm going to bring you one for having me on your show. You
Oh
don't have to.
man, no. I need to purchase one.
Well, I'm grateful. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
in order to purchase the album, you would go to heraxmusicgroup.com.
And now how you
H
spelling this?
HIERAXMUSICGROUP.com.
Right here, music.
HIRAXmusicgroup.com.
Okay.
And that will take you to the label site, and you'll see that I'm the first artist on the label.
Okay.
And the second artist who's going to be on the label already, who we've already talked about, is the singer, Lavender.
Oh wow. Oh cool.
So
Cool.
because she's blind and autistic, as well as she also has synesthesia. Synesthesia is when individuals can hear your voice and they see a color or they relate your voice to something else.
Oh wow.
She related my voice to an apple, which was pretty amazing.
Right.
But so because she has she's differently abled, she wouldn't be able to sign with a conventional record label. So my record label is artist friendly. I'm rewriting the rules. So when you
Okay.
come to my label, you no longer have all these demands placed upon you. You
Right.
won't have the record company taking, 50% of what you've created. The record company is not going to take any of your publishing.
Wow.
The record company is going to leave a large portion of the reward with the artist.
Right. Where it should be. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. You're definitely the exception to the rule, bro. Because these
Well,
folks got these record companies, man. They're like, we really like what you're doing, and we're going to give you 10% of what you've done.
yeah, even
Really?
50%. Prince was on one of the talk shows talking about how Mariah Carey had gotten a few $1 million, right? Because she sold a couple million albums,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying that the record cost at that point it might be about $20, so she got $10, she got 50%.
Mm.
So Prince said, "You feeling that?" And the interviewer said, and I can't remember, it might have been Jay Leno. He said, "Yeah, $2 million." He said, "Yeah, but she ended up selling 3 or 4 million records.
Mm.
So she only got a million, right?
Right,
And the
right,
record
right,
company got 4 million or 5 million."
right, right, right. And this the whole thing where you get the lower percentage, and then everything is taken out of your percentage, and then
Right. And so
before you.
when someone was telling me the other day that they were signed to a record company,
Mm-hmm.
and the record company charged them $150,000 to record the record.
Wow.
That's what they said it cost to record a record. I did the
Really?
record for a whole lot less than that.
I know that's right.
And I still paid
Wow.
the guys what they wanted to be paid. And
Right, right, right.
I paid Jack, what his fee was, paid Ron
Mm-hmm.
Carter what his fee was, Maestro
Mm-hmm.
Ron,
Yeah.
and Christian got what he's asked for, and Brian. Everyone got compensated in the
Mm.
fashion and manner in which they felt comfortable with.
Right.
And I can tell you it wasn't 150,000.
Right. I know that's right.
You know?
Wow. Wow. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Mm. You
well,
know,
Al, again, I want to thank you for allowing me to come here and
oh
share a little bit of my life story with you. And
man,
I'm looking
I'm
forward
enjoying this
to
immensely, man. Please.
I'm looking forward to how you gonna come and fit in with us and perform at the holiday party this year, man.
Oh man, I'm
Because
as am I, man. I'm definitely looking
I
forward
know
to
I
it,
know
man.
it's gonna I know it's gonna be it's just like putting another piece of the puzzle together.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I haven't. I sat in with you once at the Foundry. That's the
Okay.
last time I had the opportunity to play with you and stuff. And that was, man. We're talking like 40 years ago, man.
Yeah, man. That's too
More,
long.
no,
That's too
more than that. Yeah,
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 maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
really, yeah, yeah.
Well, can I just say that our second annual golf tournament for Help Our People will be held at the Orange Hills Country Club on June 24th.
Mm.
There are a lot of ways for you to contribute, donate, and support Help Our People through this event. You can go to my website, artidixson.com. You will be directed to the Help Our People website, or you can go directly to helpourpeople.me, and that will get you directly to the foundation site and also to the golf tournament event where you can decide how you would like to be able to contribute and help us support these programs to sustain these individuals and universities, the students confronted with homelessness, and students who are disadvantaged or differently abled who really want to have a music career. We're not just giving anybody lessons. We have a high uh, level of educators who we send to these individuals' homes or mutually agreed upon space so they can get lessons for free. We are
Mm.
a school without walls.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and yeah, definitely being a blessing to folks. Um, I got some rapid fire questions I want to ask you though.
Sure, absolutely.
Who are your musical influences?
You know, I've like I've been I have such an eclectic taste in music
Mm.
that I love music from all genres.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start talking about jazz, of course, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, um, uh, Dave Brubeck.
Mm.
Of course, my drummers, Jack DeJohnette, Tony Williams, Elvin Jones, Max Roach,
Mm.
Art Blakey,
Mm.
um, and people like Pat Metheny,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, Arturo Sandoval, trumpet player,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, or
Cuba.
Hernando, Michel Camillo.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Some of
yeah.
the some drummers like Dave Weckl and Vinny
Welcome.
Colaiuta,
Yeah.
Horacio Negro Hernandez.
Mm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Even, so there are a lot of drummers that I like,
Right.
and reaching back even into the rock world, people like John Bonham. So we
Oh,
had guys
okay.
like John Bonham
Hmm.
and Ginger Baker. And but then, I listened to Brahms. I listened to Liszt. I
Mm.
think I listened to Rachmaninoff.
Mm.
Um, and so, I have a lot of influences, and you're going to hear all of that.
Right.
And James Brown. I mean,
Right. Oh,
uh,
yeah.
I mean, he's influenced everybody.
Yeah.
Additionally, some of the drummers that influenced me were Mitch Mitchell
Oh,
from
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix and Greg
What
Rico from
Mitchell?
Mitch
Was it
Mitchell, yes.
Mitch Mitchell? Right.
Mitch Mitchell
Okay.
and Greg Rico from Sly and the Family Stones band.
Right.
So
Right.
those guys had some heavy influence on my playing as well.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. Coming up, my favorite drummer was Billy Cobham.
Oh yes, Billy Cobham,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Billy Cobham. I
Yeah.
saw Billy Cobham
Did you?
at Albany State University
Oh,
with
wow.
with um, with John McLaughlin and I forgot the bass player's name, but it was the John McLaughlin. It was John McLaughlin's group. But
Oh, okay.
I have to tell you this, man. We were in the gymnasium
Uh
for this concert. It was so loud, I actually had to leave.
Really?
But I had to get to the front of the stage just so I could see Billy,
Right.
see what
Right.
he was
Right. Right.
doing.
Right.
And after that, man, I had to get out of there. It was so loud.
Wow.
I had to leave.
Mm.
I was at when I was really young. Some of my friends took me to see Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
It was a place called the Aerodrome in Albany, New York, and
Okay.
I stood right in front of the stage, right in front of John Bonham's bass drum.
Oh, wow.
And man, that bass drum was just hit me in the
In the
chest.
chair. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But
Boom.
I was deep in it. But that was another place I had to get out of there.
So you trying to save your ears.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I've done that a few times at Parliament Funkadelic concerts and stuff.
Right.
And I didn't have enough sense to leave, and I couldn't hear like for 2 or 3 days.
Oh
Ears were
wow,
ringing and all that kind of
wow.
crazy.
Yeah, it can affect you. It can affect
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure. So, what was the greatest accomplishment of your life?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So the greatest accomplishment of my life was marrying my beautiful wife Joanne,
Mm.
and being able to have our children, our beautiful children, Joelle and Elena.
Mm.
That's the biggest accomplishment for me.
Hey, I second that emotion. Where's the coolest place you ever traveled?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So, I've been fortunate enough to travel in a lot of places here in America and around the world as well. I think probably the coolest place for me um, was actually being in Japan.
Mm.
There was something about Japan, when the limo drivers would come to pick us up, they wore white gloves.
Oh, wow.
There's such a respect for the individual there, for all individuals.
Mm.
They have a thing called saving face, and what that refers to is allowing people to do their work, whatever work that is, and
Mm-hmm.
allowing them to feel that that work is as important as any other uh, work that someone's doing that will preserve the culture and allow the entire culture to thrive, so to speak. So
Mm.
if you saw an elderly gentleman dragging a bag down the street, for an example, you wouldn't go and say, "Can I help you?" Because that's his job, and that allows him to save face. That particular work that he's doing is as
Mm.
important as anyone else's work.
Right,
And I
right,
think
right.
it's very different here in America. Sometimes we shun people that do menial work and look up to those who just are working or doing white collar jobs or something like that. The
Right,
blue collar jobs are sometimes shunned here in
right.
America. Some people grow up like, oh, I wouldn't do that kind of work. But
Mm.
yet at the same time, we have all these people coming into America who are willing to do that work. I
Right.
had one
Right.
young person told me he couldn't get a job, and I had another person who's from South America told me he had 3 jobs.
See. Yeah.
So
Some people just feel that some jobs are beneath them, and
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I'm no,
and
no, I
and I
never.
and I think it's speaks to our culture. We make people feel like that,
Right. Right.
because if you don't have a degree, then there's there's something about that person. You don't have a degree. You weren't smart
Mm,
enough to get a degree. But yet at
right.
the same time, right now, we are struggling to find people who want to be in these jobs like plumbers and electrical
Right. Right.
work,
Yeah.
electricians, carpenters, masons, uh, uh, welders.
Right.
These kind of mechanical work jobs are important for our cultures to thrive. And we've kind
Definitely.
of steered our young people away from those kinds of positions. But now we're struggling to find those.
Exactly.
And
Well, part of the problem was when they had those budget cuts, they took them out of the high schools because you used to have shop in
right,
high school, and not anymore. Not like
homemaking,
no, man, they all that stuff. When I was coming up, I had to take wood shop. I
yeah,
took a metal shop.
right,
I print shop, which is kind of, that's kind of done now, but during that period of time, people were still typing setting, putting together sets, for printing purposes and stuff.
sure,
Whereas it's all done on the computer now, but during that period of time, they were still doing it. But and a lot of people went in. I know a couple of people that went into printing trades when they left high school.
hmm
I know people that went into to wood became carpenters. I'm trying to say it not too very
right.
eloquently, but yeah, but the kids don't have exposure to it anymore. So
We
as
had
a
we,
result,
we had we had a class in homemaking, teaching
oh yeah,
kid teaching how to
yeah,
sew, how to cook.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was fortunate. I learned all that stuff at home. Learned how to cook and sew and iron my
yeah.
clothes. But
As did I.
um,
Yeah,
yeah, those things were taken out of school, and now you find young kids they don't know how to cook.
no,
You get a
no.
hole. We used to get a hole in the sock. We have to sew it up. We didn't buy new socks.
Exactly, exactly,
You had to sew that
exactly.
hole up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, iron our own clothes as
Yeah,
opposed to being able to just put it in the dry cleaner and stuff,
right. Yeah.
or go buy something new.
I
Yeah.
remember, when I told you I grew up in poverty, I had 2 pairs of pants.
Mm,
I had to wash those pants.
mm.
I washed the pants in the tub myself
Right, right,
and
right,
hung them
right.
out so I could have clean pants to wear at the end of the week or, exchanging those pants back and forth
Mm-hmm.
during the week. But yeah, we
Yeah.
did all that, man. Learn how to wash your clothes, iron clothes, sew clothes, cook,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the cooking trade, I mean, that became huge for everybody.
Oh,
My
no
one of my
doubt.
sisters lived in Hyde Park, which is the home of the Culinary Institute of America, the CIA.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And so now we had all these, not just women cooking anymore. You had men coming out becoming famous chefs.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. No, it's not anymore. Folks, they sit on the couch and they don't play sports really anymore. My son and I were talking. We ride by the parks, and you don't see anybody playing basketball anymore. There's no more pickup games. We used to see, play pick up everything:
Sure.
basketball, football, baseball, everything on the streets.
Yeah.
The kids don't do that stuff anymore.
When during the summertime, we were very rarely inside.
Exactly.
We were
Exactly.
always outside, always
Mhm.
outside. And if we were inside, my mother would say, "Get outside."
Get out. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, not anymore, man. Not anymore. Everybody sitting around doing this.
Yeah, it's a different lifestyle that
Yeah.
young people are growing up in.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful that it will be something that um, will benefit them later on. You know, all that we did benefited us. But
Right.
you know, it's such a changing world with the AI uh, and with technology. Maybe playing on their phones and playing games, certain games anyway, might
Mm.
benefit them in the future. Maybe being able to control robots, to have hands-on uh, in the design of AI. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So it's going to be a different world.
Oh,
You know,
truly, truly.
I was telling one of my students, I said, the wheel will be obsolete. You won't
Mm.
drive a car the way we drive it today. The
Right.
road
Right.
system won't be the way it is today.
Right.
It's so hopefully all that they're doing will benefit the way we evolve as
Right.
people and as a culture and the way the world evolves.
Yeah.
We may be taking regular trips to the space station and to the moon or to Mars.
Right. Right. Right.
All that's going to happen. I have a
Right.
nephew right now that works for an aerodynamic company, and he's
Mm.
working. Part of what he's working on is the new space station.
Hmm. Wow.
So
Wow.
that's gonna broaden. I mean,
Excuse me.
think about this. We have a space station that's just hanging up there in space, man.
Mm. Right.
And we can get to it. With people that go back and forth and whatever they're doing, I don't know, but
Right.
it's just incredible to think about what the possibilities are now for humanity in our future.
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
hopeful that we get back to being merciful, compassionate, and forgiving, which is what I was mentioning to you, what I'm sending in my message, in my music,
Right.
in my recording. But
Mm.
that has to maintain. I mean, we can have all of this. Um, we can have all of this. Uh, all of this. We can have all of this inventions and increase our way living with AI, but we still have to be able to maintain that sense of human, being human, being
Right.
kind to people.
Right. Right.
We
Right.
may have
But
to be kind. We may have to be kind to these robots,
yeah, with this AI, because they're thinking for themselves and stuff.
right?
It's like,
But
you
yeah, think
know,
about this. We call it AI now, but we call it robots when we were younger, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And but also, I should say the flip side of that is that now you have the robot or the artificial intelligence thinking for you as opposed to using that muscle and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of disheartening. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this rapper whose name I can't remember was on there, and he said that he was doing a song, and he had two verses, and he needed a third verse, and it got late, and he was tired, and he didn't feel like writing another verse, so he just put information in AI and had the AI create the third verse for him. And he said that not only was it did it create the verse, but it was better than the first two verses that he wrote.
Yeah, I think the challenge for us is going to be able to understand how we live alongside of AI.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, with that is with respect to our daily living, our jobs, our transportation, our homes, everything.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
it's going to prove interesting. Definitely going to prove interesting. What makes you unique?
What makes me unique? Well, I can start with my background, having that diverse background of Native American, African, Irish, and Italian.
Mm.
Having those four bloodlines, um,
Hmm.
I think that um, I've learned to understand how to think instead of what to think.
Hmm.
I think that I'm a free thinker. I'm an out of the box thinker.
Mm.
I think that I'm unique in the way I feel about the world, humanity, people.
What is the most important decision that you've made today?
Marrying my wife,
Okay.
absolutely. As I mentioned, it's very challenging for a person to stay with a musician,
Right.
and because of the lifestyle, the life,
Right.
my lifestyle changed. I mean, there were times I'm coming home at 5 o'clock in the morning, and but we built our relationship on trust, and if without that,
Yeah.
you don't have a relationship, and I think
Exactly.
that is crucial for any relationship that you have, whether it be an intimate relationship or a friendship. There has to be a trust that's involved there.
Right.
And like I mentioned to you earlier, that I trusted Brian and Christian with my music,
All
and I
right.
trusted everybody that was involved in in making this a project come to fruition. And it's a matter of trust.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song,
Not one that you wrote. What's your favorite song?
I think, well, if I had to really narrow it down to one, I think there's a song that Paul Simon and wrote was called "Bridge Over Troubled Waters."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that song resonates with
Yeah.
me for some
Yeah.
reason.
The there's and I like his version, but there's some other versions that I like too, like Aretha's, for instance.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, who's your favorite group?
I don't know if I could say I have a favorite group, but there are groups that I like that were, I like the groups. I like the groups that Miles put together. That group with Jack DeJohnette, Dave Holland, Airto, Chick Corea, and um,
Was Herbie in that?
no,
Okay.
the piano player. I don't know why I always forget this guy's
Well,
name.
Tatum.
No, the one that was the archetype trio with Jack and um, Keith
Jarrett.
Jarrett, Keith Jarrett.
Mm, mm,
So I think that I like the groups that Miles put together with, uh, but especially that group with Keith Jarrett, Chick Corea, Dave Holland, Jack DeJohnette, Airto,
mm,
and I think uh, um, um, Wayne Shorter was part of that group as well.
okay.
And then, of course, you have um, Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Mm-hmm.
Tower of Power, Sly and the Family Stone,
Mm.
um, even some of the groups that Eric Clapton put together. There was I don't know if Eric put this together, but it was a group called Traffic
Oh yeah,
with
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah with
Well,
Ginger. I think it was Ginger Baker, Eric Clapton. Uh,
traffic. I'm
uh,
trying to think. We used to do
Stevie Winwood.
um oh Low Sparker High Heel Boys.
I'm sorry.
It was Traffic. They had this song, Low Sparker High Heel
Oh
Boys.
yeah, okay. And I think Jack Bruce might have been the bass player for that
Oh,
group.
okay. Mm.
Um,
Hi, this is Greg Thomas of Parliament Funkadelic, and you're listening to In the Block of My Mind podcast. Check us out. Woof.
I tell folks if I was asked that question, I would have to break it down to genres because I couldn't give you just one group.
right. That's
You
why.
know,
That's why I just cross genres: jazz,
exactly,
R&B,
exactly,
pop, rock.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You
my
know.
favorite song is jazz wise is A Night in Tunisia.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Love
my
that too.
yeah,
Dizzy
yeah.
Gillespie.
Dizzy, yeah, yeah. Then I'm a I'm a funk head, so You know, I've probably been to maybe about 60, 70 Parliament Funkadelic shows and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right.
So the song "Knee Deep" um, is, is that's me.
Oh, okay,
You put that
okay.
song on, and I feel like I gotta go. Like I'm a superhero. I could go change it in my outfit and stuff, you know, and save the world or something. But yeah, that's,
You know, and I can't forget the bands that Carlos Santana put together.
oh
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
And
What
yeah,
about singers?
singers, Luther Vandross,
Mm,
one of my
mm,
top of one of my lists. Um, Johnny Mathis,
Mathis, yeah.
um, Celine Dion, Whitney
Mm,
Houston,
mm-hmm.
um, Aretha,
Okay. Aretha.
and Dionne Warwick.
Dion. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
these are,
yeah.
uh, the Hawkins. What's her name?
The
The
Hawkins
Hawkins,
family?
the Hawkins family.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
You know, Walter
Walter and
Hawkins. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, oh, so you know Jonathan though, Jonathan Dubose.
Jonathan Dubose, man,
Yeah,
fantastic cat, fantastic,
yeah,
beautiful person,
yeah,
fantastic talent.
yeah, yeah. Because you know he lived with the Hawkins.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. He lived with Walter and Tremaine.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah, and so he played on all of that, all that, all the Tremaine stuff, and then you know some of Walter's stuff as well.
You know, one year I raised money for the United Negro College Fund.
Hmm.
I promoted that show at the Westchester County Center in White Plains,
Oh,
and we had Walter Hawkins, who actually was the main act for for that fundraiser.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, wow, wow.
and then I
Oh, I'm sure
promoted
that was off the chain.
I promoted a show with Roberta Flack at the Palace Theater here Palace Theater here in New Haven,
Hmm.
and Gene Carn. I promoted a
Gene
show
Carn,
with
yeah,
the great jazz singer Gene Carn at the
yeah,
Schubert
yeah,
Theater
yeah,
here in New Haven.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, Gene Carn. I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Yeah, right.
And I think Marion used to play with her,
Yeah,
Betty
I
Flack.
think
Yeah,
Marion played with her a little bit,
yeah,
and
yeah.
actually during that show, I actually had us open for Gene Carn.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
Joey and Marion, myself, and Kevin Jenkins, I think. I was just at Marion's home in Stanford,
Oh,
and
okay.
I reminded him of when we opened for BB King. And on that bill was myself, Marion Meadows, Jay
Mm-hmm.
Rowe,
Mm-hmm.
Don Wallace, and the guitar player was uh, a young guy. I forgot his name. It'll come to me. but
Mm-hmm.
but what happened was Marion reminded me that he went to see BB King. He went to see this show in New York City, and
Mm-hmm.
BB King was on the show. Was on the
Okay.
bill. And he was standing outside getting ready to catch the train to come back to Connecticut. And I think he said he was like 13 years old. And BB came over to him and said, "Hey, you okay?" You know, or asked him if he was all right because he was a
Oh,
young kid
wow.
on the street.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Marion told him he was, trying to get find his way back to Connecticut to get back home. And when we opened for BB, Marion talked to BB and reminded him of that situation, and BB actually remembered him.
Oh,
He
wow.
remembered that
Wow.
situation. That's incredible,
Wow.
man.
Yeah, yeah, really. 'Cause, you know, like all those years, all the people that he had met since that time and
Yeah,
those
right,
years had passed. Wow.
right. Wow.
Wow. Mm, mm, mm. Last of the last question is might be the most difficult of all of them, and that is to tell me your life story in one sentence.
From poverty to professor.
Nice.
If
Um,
you told me that when I was a young kid that I'd be a professor out of college and teaching music,
right, right, right. Yeah, same here.
that's going to be the title of my
Same here.
autobiography. That's going to be the title of my autobiography.
Nice.
From poverty to professor.
Okay. And, and I was so wild back in the day. I know there's no way in the world they thought that I would be a college professor. college administrator and stuff. It's like
Right.
my
Yeah.
track coach used to call me the water pipe kid.
The what?
The water pipe kid.
And what did he mean by that?
Now, you know what he meant. You know, it was the 70s, man, in the early
Yeah.
70s, and everybody was, you know, getting down and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was all groovy. You know, everybody had a good time, and,
Yeah.
you know, and so he knew what was going on. You know.
Yeah. Mhm.
He was hip, and he's a good dude. But it's interesting because when I see him, when I saw him years later, he came up to me and he said, "Hey Al, how you doing, man?" "I'm good." He said, "Man, I'm so proud of you, man." He said, "I knew you were going to be all right." I said, "I'm glad you did, because I didn't have a clue back then, man. I was lost, man. Playing music and getting high and chasing and
Yeah.
just
I was pretty focused, because I was playing music and I was serious about it. But I also played basketball and football, and those were sports that really took up a lot of your time.
Oh yeah.
And so at the end of practicing, you went home, went to sleep.
Yeah,
You weren't really hanging out.
yeah.
And I practiced hard. I worked hard. I was just typically on the smaller side of all the players, but it made me work that much harder. And I enjoyed the sports.
Right.
I played football. I played offensive. I played wide receiver. I was the punt returner. I was a defensive safety. I was on the kickoff team, and I held for the extra point. Held the ball for the extra point.
Right.
The only time I came off the field was halftime.
Right.
I loved it,
Wow.
man. I loved it. I really loved it.
Hi, my name is Howard Cloud. Please watch In the Black of My Mind with host Al Thomas.
How can people contact you on social media?
So I'm on Facebook. Just type in Arti Dixson. You have to spell my name correctly, Arti. Last name is Dixson. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X now. I'm on Threads. And I'm on LinkedIn. So those are the main platforms that I'm on right now.
Okay. Good. Well, bruh, I appreciate you doing this so much, man. We finally got it together and stuff.
Yeah, right.
But I appreciate you so much, man, for doing this.
Well, again, man, I appreciate you inviting me to come and share some of my life story with you and your audience.